This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience.
Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today I will touch base on a requested topic from many of you. I have received requests to do this video through comment sections underneath my videos. I have received requests through DMs even. I received comments underneath Instagram posts. I mean, like, this is insane. So I had no clue who this person was, what their channel was all about, but we're going to be talking about Purseonfleek. The lady's name is Mel, who has a channel called Purseonfleek. And of course, I kind of missed the train on this one because everybody was interested about this topic over a month ago now. But I did my research, due diligent research, and I'm going to deliver my opinions on this lady's video and what she says in her video. Her video called something like, she renamed the video Hermes Made Me Cry, not shopping at Hermes anymore, long-term customer. This is really sad, like long title. Anyway, you've been asking for an opinion. I'm going to take one for the team and you're going to get an opinion. So here goes. Before we get to the opinion, don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can also push the join button next to the subscription button to become a member today, gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, gain access to extra perks there as well. Thank you to all my patrons and members who have already pledged. The bunker is the thrilling, chilling place it is thanks to you. And it actually wouldn't even be here without you. So thank you guys so much. And this video is being filmed live in front of a virtual audience. So thank you to all my co-chatters who are going to be reviewing the situation with me right now as I go along in my commentary. Also, if you wish to partake in the live chats, I live stream every Saturday. Just go to my community tab on my YouTube channel, on my main YouTube channel, late Friday night to check your local show times and set a reminder, and then partake in the live streams every Saturday with me. Okay, so about a month ago, actually, hold on. Before we start the whole story, I'm going to need something because a lot of you are going to tune in because you want to know about, a lot of you who are into Hermes are going to want to know about what I have to say about Purseonfleek. And yet I'm dressed in Jeremy Scott today. Moschino, Jeremy Scott for Adidas, because I just finished shooting another video that it was dedicated to Jeremy Scott's return to Adidas. Whole other topic. But we need a little bit more credibility, don't we? If we're going to talk about Hermes, I don't want you to come for me saying, oh, look at him dressed like an Oompa Loompa talking about Hermes. Fine. Let's talk Hermes. Shall we? Let's open up this little baby here. Because to set the point straight and right, I'm going to take my crop, my Hermes crop. I want to say whip with an H, but this is a crop. It's a horse riding crop. It's not a whip. The whip would be much longer. So let's get our weapon du jour while we talk about Hermes. So you can't come for me saying, you got nothing from Hermes. I got a plenty. Let's get started. Purseonfleek, my dear. So about a month ago, this lady called Mel posted a lengthy video, about an hour long, about a very sad experience that she has had with Hermes. So she has been apparently a long-term customer of the brand, has purchased many products at Hermes, but kind of in her description of her purchasing, I hate using that, well, you know how much we hate using the journey. Her Hermes journey was riddled with magic, some black magic, so it would seem, because she was working with one sales associate that was from France. She says that she got very well along with that person, but that lady then left and kind of let her work with another sales associate who also then left, and then another one, and then another one. I guess by the time she shot that video, she was at main sales associate number 4. So things went well with some sales associates, less well with others, but relatively okay. She starts describing her Hermes journey as being a lover of the Birkin, the Kelly and the Birkin, or more the Kelly than the Birkin, I guess. But, or vice versa, it doesn't even matter. They're Kelly and Birkin. And she starts talking about the stuff that she bought there. She didn't openly ever say at the beginning of the video that she was purchasing all these extra products at Hermès because she wanted to score. She's in Australia, by the way. So apparently in Australia, there's not a lot of Hermès boutiques. So I guess bigger demand for product and less supply. Hence, they gotta pick wisely who they give their Birkins to and Kellys to, I guess, who they offer their so-called dream bags to. So at the beginning of the video, she's like, she's buying here and there, this and that. And of course, she also wants a Kelly and a Birkin, but she's not complaining about the fact that she has purchased other products like, I don't know, bracelets, click-clacks, I don't know, twillies, I guess, carrés, foulards, scarves of the sorts, and other bags that are not the top tier bags at Hermès. And so she was apparently offered with the second or third sales associate a Birkin or a Kelly in some purple or pink color. I don't know anymore. And magenta, maybe. I don't know. They all have those weird names at Hermès. So then, she took that bag, and then she said something really interesting. She said, then she became pregnant after her first baby. She says that she got postpartum depression, which is a real thing. So she said that she felt that she looked really ugly and fat all of a sudden with that particular bag on her after giving birth. So that's why she decided to sell that bag. That bag that was, offered to her to be purchased by the Hermès boutique. Apparently, she sold that bag online on her social media channels. Probably to save money from commission going to sell it on other channels, but also because she has a following and she wants her people, to buy it. They know that if they buy it from her, I guess they're sure it's authentic or what have you. I don't know. But, probably also to save money because you don't have to pay commission to Vestiaire Collective or what have you. By the way, check out my Vestiaire Collective video, Vestiaire Collective exposed video, card section up above. But I will also post a link in the description down below. So anyway, so she didn't hide the fact that she sold one of those dream bags on her social media, which means that Hermès and anybody who works at Hermès could have seen her do so. And put a pin in that one for now. We're going to get back to it later. Then one other sales associate leaves, another one arrives. And I guess at this point, let's fast forward to the fourth sales associate, which is the problem. The fourth one, I guess, the last one that she kind of has, says that she has had. At this point, the lockdown also begins. So people aren't really going often, shops are closed, and all of these luxury brands start finding other ways to sell to their clients, and they start communicating through emails and messages. She already described at the beginning of her video that she doesn't really like to go to the boutique that often, rarely does, and she prefers to keep her conversation and sales going through, chat and messaging with her sales associate. And the sales associate, I gathered from the get-go, prefers to have people come into the boutique rather than going back and forth through 1,000 emails instead. But I guess Mel wanted to also prove to us viewers that even though she is communicating through emails and messaging, text messages with her sales associates, she's still a really cool, chill customer. So she posts receipts in her video. She dared to go there to post her emails. I mean, her novels, shall I say, the novels that she kept sending to her sales associates. And I said I wasn't going to do any shade. And so I retract that. Bad Dacob, don't throw shade. So they were really long emails, okay? They weren't novels, but and I'm like, okay. And this is the first point. Mel, with all due love, peace, and respect, that sales associate isn't there just for you. That sales associate, especially in a lockdown situation, is dealing with 100 other customers. And you best believe each and every one of them is bombarding them with requests. Each and every one of them wants to be treated like a king/queen. Each and every one of them thinks that they're entitled to special treatment because they have spent money there. Okay, be clever, girl. Be clever. Because think a couple of steps ahead, you know that your sales associate is going to be receiving many messages a day. So be clever about it. Make it succinct, tight, short, to the point. And I emphasis on the t, because one thing is to have a lengthy wish list. And I mean, Mel's video shows her emails are lengthy. So it's one thing to have a lot of things on the wish list, and with every email you send, you kind of change up the stuff you want, and it's kind of keeps kind of adding more stuff and changing stuff. But that's already a problem. Keep it tops 2 things, tops 2, because the sales associate has to also remember what you want and what all the other 100 clients want. You send 50 pieces, it's a mess. What are they going to prioritize? You ain't going to get all 50 pieces. Forget about it. You ain't going to get the 50 pieces even if you're the Queen of England. You ain't. You just ain't. So you got to prioritize. Tops 2, best is just 1. Stick to that one. But that doesn't end there, girl. You went further, and you kind of started beginning your emails with talking about your private stuff. And I know in your video you say that the sales associate was also sharing her private stuff with you. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe you misinterpreted. I think the sales associate was trying to be very polite and kind and would share certain things, but not at the length that you were sharing them. I mean, and I'm going to say this here just because you said it openly in your video. You spoke about trying to have a second baby, and that you're telling this to a sales associate that you didn't even tell family members and close friends about it, but you're telling her. So can she please hurry up with offering you a Kelly or a Birkin because you want to celebrate the fact that you're trying to have a second baby? Mel, listen, like, you don't deserve anybody talking nasty stuff at you in the comment section. By the way, Mel has deactivated the comment section underneath that video. She actually made that video private after the huge backlash that she got. And then she kind of republished it. It was available again to watch, but now you cannot comment on it anymore. Fine. Okay, all good. But just like, I don't think you understand what this means. First of all, psychologically, what this means is that you have no boundaries. And I'm analyzing it from the perspective of the sales associate here, because the sales associate that receives an email in which you are literally draining the tear ducts. This is a tear jerker. You are begging them to give you something, and you're literally selling out. You're selling out your privacy. You're selling out your intimacy. You're selling out your honor in a way. It's not honor. When you're literally saying like, hey girl, like, I'm playing with open cards, like, I'm trying to have a second baby. It's all really tragic. It's all difficult. It would really mean the world to me to get a bag. So give me the bag because I'm trying for a second baby. Not even my mom knows about it. You know, I'm like, whoa. So the sales associate, chances are, if I were the sales associate who received that message, I'm honest, Mel, the first reaction I would have would be like, oh, she's trying it real hard. And I wouldn't take it seriously. And you know why? It's not that I wouldn't take it seriously because I wouldn't believe you. I would maybe even believe you, but I wouldn't take it seriously because I would feel cringe for you. I would feel like, oh my God, she did not just sell herself out. Her intimacy, she sold her intimacy in the hopes of kind of winning over a bag. Girl, no. Have more respect for yourself. Have more respect for yourself. Ain't nobody need to know your shit. Ain't nobody need to know your personal, intimate struggles and what you're going through. And girl, ain't no bag worth that sellout. Okay? And now, this is what you might say, well, happened once. No. Her emails kept going on with more trouble. Saying to the sales associate at one point, hey, me and my husband are reaching, I don't know, some anniversary, something next month or two. We would really love to celebrate for that anniversary occasion. A bag. Could you get me a bag? You know, and then in another email, she writes, oh, you know, I have to cancel our appointment because I got a cancer on my forehead and it has to be operated. And this is also tragic and I feel so miserable. Can you get me a bag? And then it goes on, you know, it goes on and on and on. And these emails keep getting psychologically like a pressure cooker. You have to understand, Mel, for the sales associate, and you got that one that's dealing with you, with every email you sent them, and you add more of your personal life and the dramas that are happening in your life, or also the good stuff like celebrating the anniversary, but to that you add, like, you top all of those very, very intimate things of your life. You top them all off with, but give me a bag. Yeah. That, you know, for the sales associate, that sounds like somebody who doesn't have respect of themselves. And if you don't show that you have respect for yourself, how can they have respect for you? And they got to have some sort of respect for you if they're going to fight for you to give you a bag. Now, that pin that we put on the you sold publicly, one of the wish bags that you got from Hermès, and so, you know, Hermès saw that you did that. How does this work? This works that Mel keeps going on in her video, and at a certain point she says that she found out through somebody that she follows on Instagram posting that they were at some event at the Hermès boutique, and they tagged at that event the store manager of said boutique. She alleges in her video that she did not know who that store manager was, but she saw it in that post and clicked to see more about, to find out more about that person through Instagram, clicked on that tagged name of that person. And what happened, the profile of that person opens up and says, no content available. Basically, she found out that the store manager, or so she alleges, blocked her on Instagram. But she alleges that she doesn't even know him or her. I guess it's a he, the store manager of the Hermès boutique that she went to. And so she was like shocked, like, why would this person block me? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Maybe you shouldn't have gone all cuckoo on them in the emails. And maybe he was just trying to protect himself ahead of time because he thought, okay, this lady got issues. How do we politely manage to calm her a little bit down, because this is pushy. She went on then she becomes more aggressive in her emails, and she does already what she did with sharing her private life with a sales associate to a degree of like using her private life to beg for a bag. That's already a no-go to a point where it's just, it can't get worse. But, and it doesn't get worse from a moral psychological point, but it gets worse from a business point. And from a business point, how can it get worse? It can get worse when she writes the boutique another email openly stating, hey, I'm paraphrasing here, okay? She said something in the lines of, I'm tired of waiting for this freaking Birkin or Kelly. I already spent, and then she drops the amount. I already spent so much in your store. Why don't I get it offered when I see other people who have spent less than me, who have become your clients after me, who have asked for this bag after me? I see them getting it on social media. I see you're selling them the bag, but you're not giving it to me. And yet I spent so much money already, and this is the amount of money that I spent in your store. So I want the, oh my God. Girl, from a business point of view, let me tell you why this is a no-go. Because first of all, you know that Hermès, they don't Sure, they keep track of how much you spend, but officially they don't say it. So if they don't say it officially, it means they don't like it being said either. So let it be. Be intelligent. Be a step ahead of them. Be always a step ahead of them if you want to win in life, in the Hermès journey life. Ooh. So, in fact, the sales associate still politely tried to answer and tell her, hey, you can't compare your journey to somebody else's. Everybody's journey is, oh my God, this is so cringe. I can't believe I'm even doing this video, but it is what it is, you guys. You asked me for it, I'll deliver, okay? So everybody's journey is different. Everybody gets a different experience, blah, blah, blah. You can only, you know, there's no waiting list for these bags. You can only request as a wish that you would like to purchase this bag. It might happen, might not happen. We can't guarantee it. Just because you're spending money with us doesn't mean you're going to get the bag. And also, FYI, there is no official rule that you got to spend money first before you get the bag. No, it's all on a wish-based system. And I mean, Mel, Hermès is a mess. Mess is part of the word Hermès. And in fact, Hermès, in your case, turned into Hermès, Hermès. Hermès being your mess. You're the her, and they deliver the mess. And you're also messy because you got a little bit overexcited about you just wanting. Like, be less giddy, girl, you got enough bags already. But that's a whole other can of worms. Hermès is your mess, right? You are the Hermès. Child, I'm on a roll. So now see it this way. That sales associate was still trying after that email to like let you know, like, hey, it ain't, you can't do this like this. This is not gonna, this a bag does not warrant. And plus the store manager that allegedly blocked her on Instagram, that's a red flag. Let it go, girl. When a store manager blocks you on Instagram without even knowing before they blocked you that they even existed and who they were, and they already blocked you, girl, what more do you want? Like, I mean, do they have to spell it out for you? Apparently they had to spell it out for you because it wasn't enough for you to get the hints. Because your sales associate with her answers to you was dropping little hints. She was being polite, but she was trying to tell you to calm down. You're doing too much. You're putting too much pressure onto this already about to explode pressure cooker. But no, you double down and you again, like, I don't understand. Why? Explain it to me. Give me why? Let it go. They don't owe you no explanation. And you just keep pushing more and more and more. And I understand that because they were not giving you straightforward answers, you got more frustrated. But if this is strategy in a war, and yes, because at this point, this journey is a war, this Hermès journey is a war. So sad to even say it, but it is. Sad for many different reasons, obviously. So you're in this battle. Okay, you might not win the war, but you could win a battle. So if you see that your tactic, your battle tactics, up until that moment, were not working, change your strategy because you're on a sinking ship. You change your strategy. I'm just like strategizing with you right now. This is like brainstorming. I wish you all the best in the world, Mel. I'm not throwing shade at you. I'm throwing shade at the situation. Just like be clever. Be cleverer than they are. They've outsmarted you in that moment. At one point, they're like, just like, you know what? We're done here. The sales associate. So this is the final straw that breaks the camel's back, as they say. The sales associate then probably contacts human resources and says, oh, the sales associate talks to the store manager and says, I'm just imagining what went down here. Like, look, this lady keeps harassing me, literally. Like, and now she's starting to even use the money. So, like, she spent this and this and this amount of money. I can't offer her a freaking bag. They have their reasons. You best believe they have their reasons. They have their reasons to not offer you a bag, and they have their reasons to offer you a bag. Okay? So, and she's like, she's getting personal. Too personal, too close to me. We're not friends. I don't need to know about the cancer. Listen, knock on wood, this is Hermès wood, that you're fine, and I hope that the operation went well, and I really, really hope that you have completely recovered, and that there's no bad anything left in the body, that the cancer was removed. Like, seriously, like I really, really, really sending you all the positive vibes and energy that all is a thing of the past and that you are completely healthy and that there are no issues whatsoever. But you shared that information with them and you shared that information with us, the viewers in your channel, on your video. So now we know about it. We can't just like play all polite, tiptoe around the issue. It is what it is. You said it. This is what we got to deal with. So this, what I imagined, the sales associate, she was like, okay, this is too much for me to handle. She's being too personal, too intimate, too private, too pushy, and just the lengthy emails, it's just too much for me. I cannot handle. I have also other clients to take care of. So the store manager, the boutique manager, probably at that moment thought, yeah, how do I deal with this? Because, you know, store managers are also a nasty piece of work most of the times, because they are the ones in the delicate political situation of having to coordinate and be the rulers of their staff. But they got to answer to the higher levels up above, which is headquarters, which could be the main Australian headquarters or even France, Hermès headquarters. So you could imagine, I imagine the store manager being a coward, because honestly, what douchebag would block a client on social media just because they don't like them? Like that is so unprofessional. So when I say Hermès is Hermès, it's also their mess, not just Mel. That store manager should be fired. Oh yes, Mr. Store Manager, my butt from Hermès, from Sydney or wherever the hell you're from. You blocking a customer that never did anything bad to you, never wrote anything to you, never tried to follow you, allegedly, because so she says. She didn't even know he existed. So I am led to believe from what she's saying is that she didn't stalk the guy. He blocked her before she even knew who he was. That is so unprofessional of you. If it's true that you did this, Mr. Store Manager, you should be fired on the spot. And I believe that he went one step further and he didn't want to assume the responsibility of calling Mel personally to let her know that she overstepped a line. Could you please tone it down a little? No, because he didn't want to assume the responsibility. He didn't want to have the stress of having to deal with headquarters. He didn't want to have the potential retaliation and repercussions of said actions that he could have done, which he should have done as a store manager. No, instead he washed his hands of the whole situation and just pushed it off to human resources. This is how I think it went down, at least. So allegedly. So this is how I think it went down, that then HR was like, oh, okay, well, if one of our staff officially reports a problem, it's human resources obligation to try to do something to make it better for their workers. Now, another big mistake Hermès made, human resources is there for work. Human resources finds new people to hire. Human resources deals with the people that are already working, that might have issues or not. Like human resources is actually usually a bit of a cancer in itself within every company, because they always lie to the potential people that they can hire, because they want to make it so that they hire you for the lowest salary possible. You know, they work for the boss. They don't work for you. So it's called human resources, but in reality, I don't like human resources. Human resources are always the fakest of the bunch. They're even more fake sometimes than public relations. But that's a whole other can of worms. But anyway, these Oompa Loompas who have the right, it's their job to only communicate with their workers and potential people that they're going to hire, they took themselves, I don't know how, I guess headquarters gave them the right to call a customer. And this is where the bomb explodes. Human resources calls Mel from Purseonfleek, calls her, or so she says, and tells her that she got to tone it down. That there's this kind of, she's creating this health hazard, whatever, there's specific terminology for it, I don't know it, but basically, you know, she's too cuckoo, and so hence one of their workers is feeling threatened, okay, and under pressure to work. They're not supposed to work under that sort of pressure, so please tone it down. And basically they kind of hinted at, find yourself another sales associate. We still want your business, we still want your money, honey, but this sales associate is fed up with you. She can't handle you anymore. This is psychologically too much for our sales associate to handle. So please work with another sales associate. Just letting you know, and tone it down. That's basically the gist of what she said that they said to her. And so she was shook, as she should be. This is where I'm on the side of Mel. Because, bitch, you best believe, if human resources from any frickin' brand dares call me to tell me what the F I'm supposed to do or not, they got another thing coming. The first, okay, HR calling Dacob. Hello, this is HR from some Oompa Loompa brand. Can you please tone it down? First, I'm like, who the F do you think you are? You have no power here. How dare you? What's your name? What's your full name? What's your full name? What's your status in that company? I'm going to sue. Because you're putting pressure, you're psychologically putting pressure on me. Who are you? You're stalking me. You're not even allowed to have my contact information. The company does, but there's a big difference between the company having in the store my information, my address, and human resources sourcing that information from. I'm like, how did you get my information? I never signed up for that. I never allowed human resources of Hermès to have my information. So give me all your information because I got a lawsuit for you right here, right now. How freaking dare you? Who do you think you are? Go deal with your freaking psychopaths of sales associates that can't, your store manager. Why don't you call your freaking store manager and tell him to deal with this situation, not me? How dare you? Yes, I'm a flawed human being. Yes, I might have made some mistakes in the past. Yes, I might have, spilled some beans in some emails. But guess what, bitch? I was pregnant twice, okay? I had hormonal imbalance going on. I was all over the place. Sure, at this point, you can use that. You can use that excuse. You could say, like, I had issues. I had health issues. I had pregnancy issues. And now here I am having to deal with your bullshit on top of that. You were fine taking my money up until now. But now that I have an issue with you, you're calling me to tell me that she and her Oompa Loompa store manager both cannot handle me, so you have to call me? How freaking dare you? This is sad. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the brand of Hermès. Really embarrassing. As much as I'm telling you now, guys, up until this point, I've told you all the mistakes I think Mel made in her way of communicating and asking for what she wanted. I also believe that Hermès has made a humongous mistake. Humongous mistake. Potential lawsuit. Now, Australia is Australia, down under, bit different. In America, oof, child, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. America is a different can of worms altogether. You can sue in America just for, somebody can sue you. They're on the street, they fell on the street, you help them stand up. They say, you helped me stand up, now I broke my ankle. I'm going to sue you for helping me. That's America, the land of the free. Sarcasm aside, the weakness of that store manager is what's the most appalling thing in this entire story to me. If it's true that he blocked her without her even ever interacting with him on social media, first that, and second, not having the guts to deal with her personally. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. Remember you guys a couple of years back when I had an issue with one Chanel bag with an extra mini and the chain was damaged and we sent it off. They did, first of all, they didn't want to, they didn't want to exchange it. Then and there, they sent it off for repairs because it was like 2 days after 1 month of purchasing it that I realized that it had a flaw. So it was just like by 2 days off. They're like, no, we're not gonna exchange it. We're gonna send it off for repairs. I was like, oh, great. And then this is a huge saga. You could check out this video series on my channel. It went on for months. And every time the bag would return, repaired, the chain was shorter. They shortened the chain every time. And and the store manager never wanted to talk to me because she didn't want to deal. She didn't want to deal. That was too much for her. She had more important stuff to do. I was like, oh, really, bitch? You got more important stuff to do? So after half a year has gone, I contacted Chanel headquarters in Paris directly. Got a friend to write an email in French, only communication in French. I'm like, I ain't even going to let them have the opportunity to misunderstand something because I'm talking English and they're French. So, you best believe the problem was resolved within a couple of days. All of a sudden, when headquarters was involved, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. This is so not us. And then all of a sudden, the music changed. Oh, yes. The boutique called me to say, oh, Dacob, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you could get a voucher for the amount of money or whatever. I was like, oh, really? Now it's all of a sudden it's possible. For half a freaking year, you were telling me it wasn't possible. And the store manager still does not have the balls to call me personally to say this. But every time I demand to speak to the store manager, they're like, oh, no, she's busy. She can't talk right now. And I have a sneaky suspicion That little bugger sitting over there in that boutique in Hermès is just the same type of coward bitch that doesn't want to deal with the issue that is really at hand and just pushed it on to human resources. That's vile. That is vile. Yeah, it's the store manager. Fired. I wouldn't fire the sales assistant. I think the sales assistant really was put under a lot of pressure by you, Mel. So Mel, you didn't do good by that store sales assistant. So I think the cancer in this situation is the store manager. Gots to go. And after that, human resources needs a good talking to, where what they are allowed to do and what not, where they are overstepping their boundaries, because they have overstepped their boundaries here, because Mel doesn't owe them shit. Mel does not work for them. She's not an employee of theirs. They do not have any right to call her. Not at all. What they can do, of course, what Hermès as a brand can do is, you know, if they consider her potentially dangerous to them or what have you, they can always issue her an official, a letter forbidding her to ever shop with them again. Sure, it's their right. They can do that. That's fine. I mean, you know, had they just sent her a letter to say like, hey, you are no longer welcome in this boutique, you are like locked out of this boutique, they have the right to do that for sure. But what they don't have the right is to manipulate, to play mind games with you, which I guess Hermès already is used to doing, because they're playing their little journey games with everybody in the whole world. So they think that they can also play that manipulation game by having HR call you as a customer. Oh, no. Hermès, all of these little crops in your boutiques, point them all at that manager, all at your HR, and you gotta freaking beat the morals out of them and let them understand what is really at stake here. The moral integrity of the brand is at stake too. Terrible what you did, Hermès. Terrible. Terrible. I have no words. It's disgusting. It's vile. And then you go that route by saying, but, you know, keep buying with us. Just find another sales assistant because, like, you know, your money is good for us, but we're not going to give you the bag. Yeah, you're going to, you know, you've sold other bags of ours in the past. We're not liking that. So we're not going to tell you that we don't like that. But the store manager is going to block you on social media and you're never going to get another Birkin and Kelly again. But hey, keep spending more money with us, you know, because whatever. Because you're stupid enough to do so. That's what they're implying. Hermès, disgusting. Disgusting. So Hermès is her mess, but her mess is your mess. Her mess is your mess, and your mess is my mess. You know the song. So you guys, that's my opiniones. What y'all's thinking? Let me read in the chats. Maria Robinson, hello, my lovely lady. Welcome to the chat. Dacob is on fire aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui, thank you. Yes, I am. I'm lit. I'm lit as a firecracker. Happy Days says, she spent so much money. She did spend so much money. I didn't want to touch base on the amount of money she spent, but like, girl, it doesn't matter if she spent $10 or if she spent, like she said, around 200,000 Australian dollars. Still, don't tell me as a brand that you spent all that money just because you wanted a bag. Because no, then I'm going to be like, well, why are you buying here? If so, you're telling me that you were only buying all of these other products not because you like them, you were buying them because you wanted a bag, but that's not how the rules are in this store. So I never told you I never told you officially you got to spend all that money on that stuff that you don't want, because you're implying now that you didn't want that stuff. I thought you wanted that stuff. Well, if you don't want our stuff, well, let me help you out and block you out of the store. Let me help you out then. I don't need your money. I have enough money from other clients. If you really are telling me that you bought all this stuff because you were hoping to get a bag, then I'm telling you right away, this is not the way it works here. Stop spending your money. This would have been an honest conversation that Hermès should have had with her had they had an honest conversation with her, but they didn't. And this is a big problem too. HR should have had the manager call me. Exactly, D. Ashley. Human resources should have whipped that idiot into shape, store manager, and told him, hey, call the lady. How dare you not be able to grow some balls. Deal with the situation. If you don't like how she's dealing with your personnel, then let her know. Jesus says, she started it all though. All of the drama and manipulation for a damn bag. That poor sales associate. Things are not that simple, Emilio. in a way, she did start things, but also she was a victim to the things. She was a victim to the system as well. So you can't really, this is not a black and white scenario. As I said, she has her faults. They have their faults. This is not a black and white situation. They're both in a very, very slippery gray zone. Both sides. Both sides. Poor Mel, but she does need a good cropping, says Happy Days. Mr. Philip Fabulous says, Dacob makes store managers quake. Oh, I've made a couple of them quake in my time, let me tell you. These bitches think they're over everything and everybody. Most of them are. Some are really nice and polite, but a lot of them are total stinkers. Political bitches. That little bag gave you hell, right? D. Ashley. Isaac says, how to mess with Dacob. Step 1, don't. No, just don't mess with me. And you know what? I'm a sneaky little booger too, because I'm not going to explode in your face. Like I'm like being honest about, you know, the situation with her, because it doesn't concern me personally. But if you're going to attack me like that, I'll be very sneaky. You won't even know what hit you. I'll plan my way. It might take me a year, but you won't know what hit you. And this is because I see justice served. So sometimes it's good to serve justice immediately by saying it to someone's face. You got to calculate the situation correctly. But sometimes justice takes time. And to serve it properly, you got to cook that meal just right. You don't want to overcook it, but you don't want to serve it raw either. So I calculate these things very, very carefully, because I always analyze who is my enemy. I learn about them. I figure out what they're all about. When I know how to fight back, when I know what they're all about, and I know how to fight back for my rights, for justice, then I do so. But sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it's cold and calculated. But I don't give up. I never give up. And I never give up on love either. I love how that necklace sounds. Thank you, Anna. I also got blocked by a crazy male sales associate at Chanel, says MK, 2 years ago. He left me his number. I then just sent a request for a belt and got blocked. He might have thought I fell in love with him or something. Well, MK, you got to be careful not to communicate privately with a person that sent you their business phone. Or also, like, not to communicate outside of business hours. That's also important. Daniel says, Dacob, I love the way you see both sides of the story, and it is only fair to consider the other point of view. Yeah. Olfactive Story says, embarrassing. That's it, right? Amina says, Dacob, so fierce, he don't need the crop. Thank you, guys. Diasha says, oh, bitch, Dacob is on fire. Jenny Young said, yeah, HR calling on a personal phone crossed the line, breach of client privacy. Totally, you guys. Miss B, agree 100%. I love you calling it Oompa Loompa. It is, you guys. Apple's 107, some good advice. Thank you. Sis is some good. Thank you, Apple's 107. Debbie says 2 videos later, girl shows off a pre-loved bag after claiming Hermès was toast to her. Hold it, Debbie. That's not fair of you to say. And I'm going to tell you why. Mel, and I did my research. Mel was very clear about this. When HR called her and the shitstorm went down, she made the video. She was very upset, right? And she said at the end of that video, she added a little piece at the end of the video saying, hey guys, I know this is crazy now, but this just happened now that HR called me and that I'm feeling so many bad ways about Hermès. But just to let you guys know, already a month ago, before all of this happened, because they weren't selling me the bag I wanted, I found a bag that I want. I found a Kelly pre-loved from Hong Kong. It was a month of negotiations or what have you. I purchased that bag. That bag is on the way. So this is going to look strange to you guys. But I bought that bag when I was in a good state of mind, in a good place with Hermès still. So that bag was purchased before this shitstorm happened with HR. So that video is also coming. I have mixed feelings about it now because I won't be able to enjoy that bag anymore. But she did, to be fair, say that she ordered that bag and purchased that bag like a month before all of this went down. It just took a long time for it to arrive to Australia. So she thought to herself, well, why not shoot this video anyway? I mean, I ordered this bag when I was still in love with Hermès. So I understand. I would have done it too. Like, why should she now all of a sudden stop loving the quality of the brand, the love that she has for the shape of that bag, Yada, yada, just because some asshole store manager didn't have the balls to talk to her. You know what I mean? So let's be fair about this, okay? She did mention very clearly that that bag, that secondhand bag, was not purchased after the HR shenanigans story, but prior to it. Rara says, is he calling it Oompa Loompa because orange? Are Oompa Loompas orange? I always thought they were like kind of blue-yellow. That is human resources' job to protect the employee, says Ashley. If an outside customer or vendor is harassing the employee and causing anxiety, it is human resources' responsibility to investigate the matter. No, human resources have nothing to do with me. I'm not employed with them. So they cannot call me. They cannot. They're absolutely not. There's other venues you can go to. You could contact the police. The store can go to the police and say, hey, we got an issue with this person for this and this reason. The police can then contact you, or whatever other venue, but not the company itself from HR. Because did I apply? Do you have my job resume? Did I ever apply to work in your shitty store? No, I never did. So how do you have my information to begin with? Absolutely no. Absolutely unforgivable. No bags were traumatized during this mess, says Amina. Lori says, this is just absurd. Really, when you think about it, therapy is a good thing. Can be in many cases. It can be. Hello, you. Hello, you. Hello, you. I don't blame him blocking her. She would probably contact him too with lengthy DMs. Plus, it's personal social media, not professional. She never contacted him. So, you know what I mean? Fine. Listen. You can do whoever you want if it's private social media. Block whoever you want to block. But that's besides the point. The point is this. In the official capacity as a store manager, we only have her point of the story. She claims that she never contacted him. She claims that the moment that she found out that he has a social media profile, she was already blocked. So, him having blocked her before she allegedly even knew that he existed on social media, that's highly unprofessional, because this shows us one important thing, that he had an issue with her way before she even thought that he had an issue with her. So if he had an issue with her before she ever even thought that he had an issue with her, then it's on him. Then he's the type of asshole that even in a relationship, he would probably be that type of person who wouldn't tell you that he has an issue with you until it's so far gone, the situation, that he just bursts on you and you have no clue what you did wrong. Because he never had the balls. When the first irritation aroused, we are also aroused. When the first irritation arised, he didn't immediately, which he should have done, he didn't immediately step in to try to fix the situation. Instead, that unprofessional person kept just letting it grow. He just kept it, he's like, the situation might solve itself. Let it simmer. Let it simmer. Let me block her at this point. So annoying to deal with her, like, indirectly. And, he kept adding to the pressure cooker without stepping in, as he should have professionally, to deal with it. So, to me, if it's true what she is saying, then it proves to me that it's his fault. He should have stepped up, manned up, grew a pair of balls, or a pair of pellets, in his case, and taken it to the side and said, hey, Mel, you really, thank you so much for everything what you do, but just to let you know, and there's ways of communicating to people. There's ways you could say stuff to people, but not saying anything. Total lack of communication from your end. Saying that you have an issue with how somebody is acting and behaving with you, but you're in the capacity of being a store manager of that freaking boutique. That is unprofessional. So let's not focus on the nitty gritty. The fact that he blocked her private profile, he's allowed to do it. Sure, he's allowed to do it. But the fact that he blocked her shows us a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that he knew ahead of time. He knew a long time before that there was an issue. And he had that issue, but he didn't have the balls to actually touch base on that issue. And this is why I say he should be fired, because he can't deal. Obviously, he can't handle. He can't handle his job. So if you can't handle your job, boo, bye. HR is the worst everywhere, lol, says Rara. Yeah, HR is they're just fake. Ugh. Oli Soto says, she created a hostile work environment. I agree, Dacob. They took it too seriously. Just ignore her and take her money. Oli, This is the most noble and disgusting gesture you could have done, but I agree with you. They could just play it cool. You know, they could have just been like, okay, whatever. She's probably cuckoo. Just let her be cuckoo. It's just an email from time to time, whatever. Just keep saying, yes, maybe later, maybe. But obviously, the sales assistant couldn't handle. It was too much for her to handle. And it was too much for the store manager to handle. And so, and this is a good point, Ollie, because you realized something, which I also realized. It's not even that crazy what she did. It was desperate what she did, but it wasn't aggressive. What she did was not life-threatening. Okay, it was an existential threat to the sales assistant, unless she's not withholding some information. You know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. What she's telling us, is it all true? Did she withhold some information? We don't know. We can only go from what she's telling us, right? So if we are to assume that what she's telling us is all true, then that's what we have to go by. And what we have to go by is none of what she did was life-threatening or existentially threatening to that, you know, sales assistant. Now, if the sales assistant can't handle that pressure, and let me tell you something, there's way higher pressure to be handled than Mel as a client. Okay, I've had my fair share of jobs also done in sales, and let me tell you, the psychopaths that I dealt with in my past, she's a lamb. Mel is a lamb compared to how freaking crazy, nuts, insane, disgusting, vile people can be. This is nothing. She is a flower compared to what can really go down. So if they can't handle her, granted, this is all she did, if we were to trust that this is all that she did, if they can't handle this, then they're living in some bubble, because obviously maybe they should not be doing their job. Maybe somebody else should step in, because retail, doesn't matter how luxurious or not luxurious it is, it's tough. It's tough. And the fashion world is tough. So, you know, just saying, the Birkins in the boutique finding themselves in the middle of this mess, like, ciao, right, Jesus? Mr. Philip Papa says, in conclusion, Hermès is just a mess. Right, Hermès is a mess. So there you have it. I just can't imagine my life goal being a bag, says Candy Fluff. Yeah, but that's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other can of worms, you guys. Like us projecting onto objects, in some cases fetishizing objects, loving them, like allowing objects to occupy our life, to be the only reason for our happiness. I've been down that rabbit hole. It's a real thing, and it can happen. So let's not underestimate this and underestimate the power that sometimes some objects, if they're within a certain context of manipulation, of brand marketing also onto certain objects, individuals, let's not underestimate how powerful that manipulation can be. And listen, not every person is strong enough. And this is ultimately where I want to end it also. Not every person is strong enough to fight back that pressure given by the brands, the FOMO, the fear of missing out, the fear of not being part of some elite club because, oh, my person that I know, that friend of mine, like she got the bag, but they're not selling it to me. Am I less worthy now? Like certain people who are psychologically not as strong as other people, they can fall victim to this. So let's not it's easy for us to judge. It's easy to point fingers, say, haha, look at this loser crying in a video about a bag, whatever. I would never make my whole life about. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Certain addictions are also super, I'm not saying that she's addicted to anything, but it can be. Certain situations are not to be taken so lightly. We can laugh about it and joke about it as much as we want till the cows come home. But you best believe that some person out there is feeling this pressure really intimately, personally, and it really hurts them inside a lot. And as first world country problem bullcrap it sounds to most people watching, still to that person, it means the world in that moment. Who are you to judge? So it means nothing to you. So what? It means the world to them. So you gotta always kind of balance, we're all different. Something that you might love, I might not even know it exists, and vice versa. And it's okay that it is that way, but I'm just putting things into perspective and saying, she didn't do everything right, they didn't do everything right. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. But definitely, that store manager guts to go yesterday. Daniel says, usually I'm sympathetic when I hear complaints about Hermès sales associates, but on this occasion, I really feel for the sales associate. I'm not saying get rid of the sales associate. I'm saying get rid of the store manager. Be very careful. I never said get rid of the sales associate. Nice of Dacob to be kind to Mel, says Amina. Listen, Mel, I don't know you personally. I don't know if you're ever going to watch this video, but I really wish you all the best in the world and all health and happiness to you and your babies and your kids. And fingers crossed it all goes well. Also with the operation and with your forehead, I hope it's healing well. Just be more clever. Be more strategic in the future. Don't let this get to you psychologically. Let it go. If they want to play these games, listen, they go low, we go high. You don't stoop low to their terms and terminologies. Elevate yourself. Be elegant about it. Let them understand the mistake that they have made, but show them dignity. Don't show them desperation. Don't ever let them know that you're so desperate for a bag, because you're not. You're better than that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thumb up this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel, join my channel, become a member today, become a patron today, superdacob all spelled together. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all, see you soon, take care, bye.